For the last 2 seasons, we have finished in 3rd place. And we are unfortunately runners-up in the Coppa Italia last season. In the Champions League, we were eliminated by eventual winners Bayern Munich in the first round knockouts. And pretty much every player in our squad is wanted by another club, so keeping everybody is going to be a bit of a challenge this summer. Straight into transfers though, my scouts found me a Romanian wonder kid only aged 19, who could be a fantastic squad player that I can pick up for a very cheap cost. £3.1 million was accepted. I also noticed Elmas on the transfer list, who used to play in the Serie A for Napoli. £19 million and he would be my best midfielder, so it seems like a great deal. Both offers were accepted. Popa's contract was easy, however, I definitely don't want them to loan him back. But Elmas, however, wanted a huge wage hike, and when I wanted to negotiate down, in the end I'm paying more loyalty bonus, but 100k a week seems more reasonable. I'm not surprised, but Yeboah is Europe's top marksman after his 40 league goals last season. Our big signing potentially done early as Elmas joins the club. Popa follows right behind him too. The board then wanted to discuss offering me a new contract. About time if you ask me. I told them I think it's a great idea and now I await their offer. And while we wait, Genoa stumble up 43 places to 54th in the European rankings. Who's laughing now? New contract on the table for just over 30k a week, which I'm pleased to accept. I changed the person attacking the near post to the left side striker, mainly because that is usually Pellegrini. As you can see, has great strength, jumping reach, bravery and heading. Perfect for attacking set pieces. Leverkusen make a bid for Siver for £20 million plus. But I thought I would be cheeky and asked for 30, which they swiftly rejected. We then tied up Pellegrini to a new contract, removing his minimum fee release clause. More offers coming in, including a £33 million bid for Nico. And both North London clubs going in for Nagalo, and I rejected them all. And then Spurs insult me with a £21 million bid for Anel Ahmedhodzic, when he's clearly worth 33 million. It's about time, but Kelvin Yeboah has finally played for Italy. Congrats. Anel kicked off, we rejected his move to Spurs, and they came back and I negotiated a £37.5 million bid, which they agreed to pay. Liverpool also came in for Nico, but I'm still rejecting that as I seriously don't want to lose him. We then had a news article to tell us that Milan have made an offer to sign Eddie Guerrero. Arsenal came in for even more money for Anel Ahmedhodzic. So I accepted, cancelled the Spurs transfer offer and offered him out for even more money to carry on the bidding war. I then got a huge offer for Siver for £34 million. He's been a great player, but not worth that much money, so as hesitant as I am, I'm going to accept this bid. For some reason, Anel rejected Arsenal and isn't going anywhere for now. And then Siver rejected Leverkusen. I literally can't get rid of them. Elmas is likely to miss the start of the season too with a twisted ankle. Inter Milan then offered £33 million for a player who won the European Golden Boot last year. That's honestly embarrassing on their behalf. Yeboah is actually unhappy as he wants a new deal, so no time like the present. A new 5-year deal was offered for the man who scored 40 league goals last season. 4 wins from friendlies, and our first game of the season is the league champions Juventus. Great report here on Juve too, by the way. Juventus will be tough to beat. Yeah, cheers, Captain Obvious. Their manager now is Ernesto Valverde, but only Zinchenko as a first-team transfer in the door this season. And we have a strong team too. New signing Elmas, who is still not quite up to it yet fitness-wise because of his injury, missing out on the starting 11. But hey, guess what? The Giant Killers are back. Genoa 4, Juventus 0. We were superb. After making Juve look like amateurs trying to defend us, Diomande hit the post and tapped in the rebound into an empty net. Second half, it was that man again who fired home a second. The third, look how many players are stood on the edge of the area, and there was Saivas to smash in a shot. And finally, fourth from Pietro Pellegrini, who leapt higher than anyone to head in the fourth. Champions League draw time. I am a little confused as we are now the 4th seed, when last year when we were the 3rd seed, our reputation has increased since then and we finished in the same spot again, but eventually we were drawn into the group with Barcelona, Leipzig and Marseille. Again, potential for us to qualify through that. Second match and we dropped points to Sassuolo, which is quite frustrating. Elmas debuted but was taken off after a poor performance. Deadline day and attracting offers are the usual suspects, who tend to have 48 offers per month per player. Chelsea start by making an offer for Esposito, and his agent warns us he may be unhappy if it's rejected. But it's a terrible non-negotiable offer. And shock, he wanted to chat. I mentioned the finances and he wanted around £30 million asking price, which I was happy to accept around a little bit more for. No more bids came in though, a relatively quiet window, but it's difficult when outgoing players reject contracts and never leave. Another draw to start September off was quite annoying, and our next game is Marseille in the Champions League. We started things off with a bang when Diomande was found bounding through on goal to smash win in off the bar. Pellegrini scored a second in the 24th minute in a game where we really put Marseille to the sword. Second half, Diomande got an assist with an excellent free kick, and he capped off the day with his second goal and once again threw some sexy football. We took that into the next match against Fiorentina, where we won 6-2 away from home, with Pellegrini getting 3 goals and being a constant threat. My idea of putting him on attacking corners was the correct decision when he scored his second and third goal from the set piece. League-wise, we won the other 2 matches, but took our first loss this season when we headed to the new camp 6-3. Our rivals Sampdoria are back after promotion to the Serie A, so we faced them in 2 matches' time. The Roma game was rescheduled and we faced Sampdoria first instead. And yet again, we were amazing. The highlight being Diomande's chip for the third. The 2 more goals came when we laughed them off the pitch 5-0. We then took 3 points off of Leipzig in Germany and beat Torino 5-2. At this point in time, we are second in the league, just 3 points off with a game in hand over Inter Milan in first, and second place in the Champions League group. We dropped another 2 points against Roma after a 2-2 draw, but still unbeaten so far this season in the league. Leipzig at home next, and honestly, we are playing some beautiful football. Nico with the first, Pellegrini played through Elmas for the second, but goal of the night was the third when Yeboah chipped the goalkeeper after a wonderful pass and play. Milan simply couldn't handle us in the next game either, with Diomande finding another 2 goals in that shallow striker position. Skipping forward a bit now, only losing 1 more match to Barcelona, we win every other game, putting in huge performances in the league especially. And check this out. Something I've never seen before. We are top of the league, unbeaten on the same points as Inter Milan, but look at the player statistics. We have the top 3 goal scorers of the league, the top 3 average ratings of the league, and 2 out of the 3 in most assists, all on 7. We qualified in the Champions League in second place and have been drawn against Newcastle. Well, how bad could it be? They have some very expensive and quality players, including Darwin Núñez up top and Tomori at the back. January is going to be a tricky task with games against Inter Milan and Juventus. Diomande also won African Player of the Year. And then Newcastle then came in for Yeboah. It's an interesting offer, but I'm still going to reject it. Leipzig then came in for Diomande again, but not a big enough fee for me to consider. I just negotiated a £16 million bid for Anel Ahmedhodzic by doubling it, and PSG actually accepted. Could be a mistake. Out of our usual 11, both Dragowski, who is ill, and Esposito, who is suspended, are missing against Lazio. Will the unbeaten run end here? Nope, don't panic. The Macedonian midfield maestro found himself. Right place, right time, 3 times in 1 game, tapping in all 3 goals to help us en route to win 3-1. Now here is a tempting offer, £64 million for Yeboah. I still had to reject it. We have them in the Champions League next, and that's going to backfire if I sell him. And £30 million for Anel from title rivals Inter Milan. But finally, Anel left the club, leaving for Paris Saint-Germain. His replacement could be this man, Maxence Lacroix. 6'3" and 18 pace with good defensive abilities, and he is unhappy right now and wants to leave. We negotiated and managed to deal with Bayern Munich for just over £20 million. I think we actually improved the side here. Back to the league games and another hat-trick for Kelvin Yeboah. He is now just 1 goal behind Pietro Pellegrini. More offers, £42 million for Hickey, £37 million for Esposito, and a whopping £48 million for Nico. But I have to reject. I've become way too attached to these players. Oh, and £45 million for Pietro too. Rejected again. Our squad size is depleting, especially with all of these injuries. But it doesn't stop us from destroying Fiorentina 5-0 yet again. Lacroix signs and just in time for the match against Inter Milan. Annoyingly, we are missing Nico in the midfield. And finally, our unbeaten run in the league has come to an end. 3-2 Inter Milan. Juve equalised against us in injury time as well, meaning that if Inter Milan win their game in hand, they go above us. Nico then indicated he wanted a new contract as he only had 18 months left, so I was over the moon that I just rejected a £60 million bid for him. Then I simply could not turn down a bid for Hickey. But don't panic, I have a plan. See, on my shortlist is Gonzalo Estevez, who has a very cheap release clause that I can activate. However, no idea why, but this has been cancelled. Oh well, window closed, on to February's fixtures. Skipping forward, the results have been great. We've dropped points against Bologna, but won the other 3 matches with just Newcastle and Roma to play. Fortunately for us, Inter Milan drew 3 matches this month in the league, dropping 6 points in total with 2 games to go, which sees us top of the league by 2 points and still dominating the goals, average rating and assists. We shift our focus now to the Champions League, and Pietro puts us 1-0 up from a headed corner. Yeboah then latches on to a through ball to find the bottom corner for the second. And that man, Pietro Pellegrini, once again leaps above the defenders to head in our third. An outrageous performance against the Europa League winners. And we take that form to the capital where we defeat Roma 4-0. We face our rivals next and we take the lead with Elmas at the back post. Diomande puts us 2-0 up soon after, but this was far from the easiest ties we've had recently, as they got one back in the second half, but we pulled through to keep the 3 points. We took our second loss of the league campaign to AC Milan, but we still progressed through the Champions League and won the first leg of the Coppa Italia semi-final. Inter Milan then await us in the Champions League quarter-final next month. The first leg we are incredibly unlucky, as even though we took the lead through Ekuban, Inter Milan found an equaliser in the 92nd minute to take us tied into the second leg. We fell behind in the second leg through Ferran Torres. However, 2 minutes later, a fantastic off-the-ball movement from Elmas was found to score the equaliser. But our luck ended there, as a header from Bastoni was tapped in by Torres to send Inter Milan through to the semi-finals of the Champions League. With the treble dream over, we have 4 winnable games, and winning 3 of them with just 1 draw to Napoli, which is a great push for our first league title in 103 years. And we're going for our second cup final in a row, beating Milan in the second leg 2-1. Second in the league, but 2 points and a game in hand over Inter means it's going to be tough right into the end. But Empoli being the big surprise in the Coppa Italia final, a team that we've just beaten 4-0. And we kept up our end of things, defeating a very poor and unrecognisable Atalanta team 2-1. However, Inter Milan won 5-1 with 4 goals from a 17-year-old on his very first start. No joke, a 17-year-old regen just scored 4 goals in the Serie A. But back-to-back wins in the league gives us great momentum going into the cup final. However, look at that. Inter Milan is our last game of the season. We are currently top by a single point, so a win and a draw against Inter Milan would be enough. The Coppa Italia final then, and we are missing some key players through injuries and fitness problems. You have got to be joking, against 10 men as well. Right, let's forget about that car crash and focus on Lazio instead, because a win, depending on Inter's result, could see us lift the Serie A, and they play Atalanta the following day. However, we put Lazio to the sword with an 8-star performance, taking the lead in the 22nd minute. We took our time with the second though through Kelvin Yeboah, but we then proceeded to score 2 more in injury time. A goalkeeper mistake in the 94th minute though. That helped Inter Milan seal a win to keep themselves in the title picture. So it comes down to the final game. We just need to avoid losing and the title is ours. And here we go. We are fortunate enough to have our strongest 11 back and ready to go with only Pizzella still not fully fit. Things did not start great when Hogg met across to score in the 4th minute. And I don't know what we were doing, but Hogg then scored again in the 5th minute. This is not good. Thankfully, Pietro got us back into the tie with a fantastic header from a corner. After some world-class movement, Diomande was found alone in the box to equalise. And the king of Genoa, Diomande, once again then drifted in behind the defence of Inter Milan to go one-on-one to put us 3-2 into the lead. And our very own Italian stallion, Kelvin Yeboah, scored a 4th to put us within touching distance of the Serie A. Inter Milan got a 3rd in the 94th minute, but it was just too late. For the first time since 1924, Genoa are champions of the Serie A for the 10th time. And that is where this series comes to an end. You can, however, get the saved game file on the £5 tier of Patreon if you wish, page.com/OmegaLukeGaming. Maybe you can try and take this team to Champions League glory as the next step. But for now, my job here is done. Maybe if you'd like, you can go and check out this video where we go and try and beat Dixie Dean's 94-year record. But don't worry, I'll be back next week with another challenge. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Bye-bye.